What is your "I can't believe I forgot to pack" story?
I accidentally grabbed my recently expired debit card. I got to the airport and tried to take out some cash and realized my error and started freaking out. I was about to depart to Thailand with no money and no way of getting any money. I wouldn't have even been able to pay for a taxi from the airport to my hotel. Fortunately, my stepdad was randomly near the airport and rushed to the airport/took out some money for me and was able to pass it over to me. I was one of those people running to catch flight.
Bought two $80 plus tickets to a concert 2 states over. Reserved hotel room, packed snacks, bottled water, and clothes for 2 days plus the after-event jammies. Booked boarding for the dogs 2 nights. You know what we realized we didn't pack after about an hour on the road? The fucking tickets. This event didn't have a digital option. Luckily, we left early enough that we could turn around and, probably speeding, go to retrieve them without missing the show that night.
I was on my honeymoon and we went skiing. I rented a jacket because mine had an issue, and then I took my ring off and put it in my pocket for safekeeping. I had never worn a ring before, so I was very nervous about losing it when I took my gloves on and off. I forgot that I had it in my pocket, returned the jacket and went to the hotel for our last night and packed all my things. We got on the flight home, and as we were boarding, I handed the gate agent our tickets and my wife said, "Hey, where is your ring?" I freaked out and realized there was nothing I could do, we were literally boarding. So I landed and frantically called the ski resort. I couldn't get a hold of anyone, so eventually, I called the hotel we had stayed at. They sent someone to the resort and looked through the lost and found and even had the attendants check the rental jacket pockets. They found IT and sent it to me, true lifesavers.
When I was about 18 or 19, my buddy and I went canoe camping. It was a Friday and we both had just gotten off work, rushed to our individual places, packed, and then headed out. We make it to our campsite with enough time to put up the tent and get set up. He didn't bring a sleeping bag, it was still sitting ready to go in his front entryway. There was a foam mat and I unzipped my spring bag to use as a blanket. That he was a deep sleeper and I was not. I ended up sitting up stone the fire all night with a plastic garbage bag stone my shoulders as it was raining, all night. But in the middle of the night I had a profound moment when the full moon appeared over the edge of the cliff in the cove we were staying in. It was a profound moment when I felt how large the world is and how small we are in the grand scheme of things. I'm glad he forgot his sleeping bag. I lost a night of sleep and gained a lifelong memory of a profound moment that I have kept with me for decades.
We landed for our wedding. After getting off the plane with my soon-to-be bride, we start walking to meet her parents when a wave of fear comes over me. "Hold this, I left something on the plane." I say to her. My fiancée is left standing in the middle of the hallway pondering why she is marrying this goober. Meanwhile, I take off running through the crowd and reach the gate, narrowly managing to catch the last of the attendants leaving the plane. "Excuse me, I left my backpack on the plane." In a few moments, I return triumphantly to my loving bride to be holding out my trophy of conquest. She does not seem pleased though. With the time given to her to stand and wait, she had noticed something. She looks at me with eyes that send fear through my soul and says, "So where's your suit?" My brain flashes to the moment I looked at my suit in my closet at home. I said to myself, "Make sure you grab that." But I did not make sure. I left my tailored wedding suit thousands of miles away on my wedding weekend. I could not, and the many guests that heard this story could not, believe I had forgot the suit. Thankfully, a groomsman picked it up for me before he flew out. Forgot to pack my suit pants for a destination wedding. Also, I was the best man. Also, I didn't check for them until it was time to dress for the ceremony and photos. Spent the last hour running/taxiing between high-end retailers and tailors trying to get an acceptable replacement that fit. Thankfully, I managed to find a near enough match and a tailor who could make a few last-second adjustments in time, and the bride didn't have to know anything until it was a funny story at the reception.
I was traveling to a remote island in the middle of the Caribbean for 9 months, like there is literally no post office on this island, and no addresses on the houses. I forgot my laptop charger, cell phone charger, and debit card LMAO. The phone didn't end up motoring because it died about 2 days after being there when I dropped it in the ocean, and I lived cell phone-less for almost a year. I loved it so much that when I got home and bought a dumb phone, I used PayPal for everything through my computer for months until another group of people was coming and my parents mailed them my debit card to bring the island. I also only packed like 5 pairs of clothes thinking there might be shopping on the island. Oh, how wrong I was.
Took a trip from NorCal to Brooklyn and then final stop of Montreal. The night before the flight to Canada, realized the passports were sitting at home, got my friend to break into my house because I had forgotten to leave a hide key outside, and listened while I heard him breaking a window before guiding him to the official document. Learned you can pay Delta a few $100 to deliver passports door to door in a few hours. It was cheaper than rebooking a flight.
My wife and I just returned from our honeymoon in Europe. We live 4 hours from the major city in our area, so we decided to make the drive the night before so we could be rested and not rush to make the afternoon flight. We left right after work and 30 minutes into the drive our car started making a noise we had not heard before. So we turned back and switched over to my work truck that absolutely guzzles fuel. Despite the car trouble, we aren't feeling stressed at all because we left so early, and we both comment several times on the drive how much we nailed the start of the honeymoon. At 11 p.m., we pull into our destination for the night and I start unpacking our luggage and quickly realized that we had forgotten our carry-on backpacks which had our passports in them. In the commotion of switching vehicles, we both thought the other had grabbed them. So I sent my wife to bed and hopped back in the truck and drove 4 hours home, grabbed the 2 bags from the back seat of the car and turned right around. Over 12 hours of straight driving, more coffee than I've ever had in one day. I arrived back to pick up my wife and we made it to the airport 1 hour early. I've never been happier to have a 9-hour flight because I slept the entire time. It all worked out and now we have a funny story to go along with an incredible honeymoon.
I forgot an SD card for my camera when I went to Ireland in September. This is particularly annoying because I had committed to only bringing a carry-on and the camera shit was like 5 to 10 pounds between lenses, etc. Realized in the car on my way to the airport and figured whatever, I'll get one en route. Couldn't find one at the airport, couldn't find it on any layover. I know I could have gotten one in Ireland but was on a super rushed itinerary, and by the time I arrived in a city it was already half of my trip. I ended up not getting one and having to rely on my cell phone.
We were traveling with our then 2-year-old, and my husband packed all my stuff for the return home because I was tending to a cranky kid. I got home, unpacked, and realized that 2 weeks worth of underwear were 1,000 miles away. I was too embarrassed to call the hotel and ask them to send it all to me.
Okay, so I was going to Europe with my mother, stepfather, and stepsister. My mom tells me she will pack for me. I might have been double digit at this point, maybe 13 to 14. Anyway, you don't argue with parents, so she did the packing. Get to our first night and turns out I have no underwear at all other than what I was wearing and a pair of swim trunks with the mesh liners. So between washing my underwear every night and alternating with swim trunks, I spent some 12 days all over Europe. At one point we were in Switzerland and could have easily bought some underwear, but my mother said no, they are too racy or something like that, because instead of Kmart special cheapies there were some fancy Euro cut underwear. Was staying at a hotel while on a business trip in Austin for 3 weeks. I brought my PlayStation, monitor, headset, bought some soda and snacks to stock the fridge. Got everything set up to realize I left my controller at home. Thankfully GameStop was 1 mile away, so I only had to spend 20 minutes navigating turnaround, avoiding tolls, and sitting in traffic.
I was going to a wedding, forgot my suit by the door. I realized it when I did check in. Good thing call my neighbor and he brought it to the airport. My airport is small, so I told airline staff I was waiting for my suit. They told to go through security and to tell my friend to give the suit to them. I board the plane last. My friend called me and said he gave it to airline staff. I keep looking at the door and nothing. Just when they're about to close the door, I see they gave my suit to flight attendant. I was so grateful. After they closed door while taxiing, flight attendant came and told me my suit made it and that it was at the front of the cabin. I bought chocolates for the airport staff on my return. When I was 19, I was hungover and forgot to bring my entire suitcase on a 5-day trip to San Francisco. Thankfully, my mother gave me some cash to buy a few things, so I didn't have to wear the pink shirt and ripped jeans I rolled out of bed in. As soon as we arrived, I went to a friend's new business, which turned out to be a dispensary and goes so high I could barely function. Wandering around the pier, I spent all my mom's cash on a samurai sword. I wore the same outfit and ate McDonald's for all 5 days.
Back in my early 20s, my friend and I were going on a trip to Thailand. We decided to stay up and out to drink etc. so we could sleep on our long flight departing at 6 a.m. Big brain energy, I know. Slept through alarm, hadn't packed really, because young and smart ass, but somehow still managed to make it to the airport with luggage, passport and a few minutes to spare. Slept through the entire flight, and don't remember the connecting airport somehow, got to our hotel with a hangover from hell, only to find that I had packed nothing but 5 pairs of jeans and a picture of my cat for my 10 days in tropical paradise.
Thank you for watching. If you like to watch more of these videos, please leave a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share it to your friends and family. I'll see you in the next video.